Hey guys, hoping you're having a blessed day. Welcome to Lake Stevens Auto Detailing. Behind me I've got a Subaru WRX STI, and it's getting an interior only detail. Back's kind of dirty, it's not too bad. I mean, in consideration to the rest of the car, I mean, this trunk jam looks like it's never been cleaned, so we'll have to spend some time on that. But the main party is over in here. Yeah, lots of hair, dirt. Headliner's not too bad. They do want it spot cleaned, so we're gonna do that. Yeah, there's lots of animal hair and dirt and debris. Let's go to the front here. Got a lot of dirt buildup and stuff. I think they ride around with the windows rolled down or something. But there's a ton of junk up in here. Lots of rocks and crud. They are paying for having the seats removed, so we're gonna do that. There's a bunch of crud. I'm gonna have to do some cleanup here. But yeah, it's real dusty. So it's been neglected for a bit. We'll go around to the passenger side. And you can see lots of junk up in there. Same thing over here. Just a bunch of junk. So I'll get a small little trash bag for these little knick-knacky things. Then we'll get this thing all cleaned out. So it's gonna need some love here, but we'll get it cleaned up. All right, so the first thing I did was disconnect the negative battery terminal. Let the car sit for about 25 minutes. Just to discharge any electrical for the airbag system, and then started unbolting the seats, moved the floor mats out of the way, and zipped these out. The bolts weren't real hard to get out, thankfully. Some cars, they get a little rusty and crusty and stuff, but these weren't too bad at all. So all the little covers and everything came off pretty nice, and the bolts came right on out, so that's always that's half the battle, making sure that the bolts will come out and don't give me any trouble. So once I got those bolts all out of there, then also being manual seats, being able to slide it back and forth, that was a big plus. So I didn't have to use like a open-ended wrench. If it was a power seat, that would have been a bit more of a problem. Obviously, with the disconnected negative battery terminal, we're not going to have any power to the seats. This driver's side floor mat had a ton of crud, so the lady said it had been about 2 years since she had the vehicle detailed, and it was kind of used for transporting things back and forth and just daily grime and everything, so it needed a deep clean, and she wanted to get the front seats pulled out. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to pop this thing up and disconnect all the plugs in there, and then we can yank the seat out. With the steering wheel there, it makes it a little bit more tricky, just clearance wise. Passenger side's pretty cake, a lot of clearance on that, but driver's seat is a little bit trickier to get out, just with everything in the way, mainly the steering wheel, but we'll get it. Now that I got everything disconnected, I'm just trying to take my time pulling the seat out. We don't want to scrape up any of the door panels or the paint, damage the seat in any way, so just trying to take our time getting everything disconnected and moving the seat out of the way. With the bottom of the seat track, there's a lot of metal areas where you could scrape up the center console, the glove box, things like that. So just want to make sure you have a good grip on the seat and pull it out slowly and carefully so you don't damage anything on the vehicle. That's the main thing, just taking your time, because a lot of times going slow is faster than rushing and then causing problems. So I'm just pulling all the clutter out of the cup holders, front little center console area, little storage cubbies and stuff, so I can get access to clean everything. It is nice on kind of like a compact sedan, where pulling out the front seats gives you really good clearance to be able to get in and get all the crud out of the carpets. And here I'm just trying to keep all my bolts and everything all organized, so I just got them laying over there out of the way so we don't lose them, and keep a track where all the bolts go. It looked like they were all the same length for the front bolts and stuff, so the direction didn't seem to be that important. But here we're moving on to doing our first preliminary vacuum, and I had to set up a light because it was a little bit dark. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of crud stuck up in there, and we're gonna have to work to get some of the hairs and debris on out. It doesn't always pick up on camera how much junk is in the carpets. Often it can kind of look pretty clean, but there's still quite a bit of debris. So once I get the preliminary vacuum done, I'll be going through and drill brushing, and then if I need to, use the tornador to blow things out, just to get any little stuck remnants blown out, loosened in the carpet fiber, so I can actually vacuum it out. There's a fair amount of debris that was stuck up in the carpets, in the corners and stuff, around the edges of where the floor, all-weather floor mats would be, and then just in some of the areas where it hadn't been cleaned for a long time. And so I'm just using the blue medium bristle drill brush, and then going over with the vacuum and seeing how clean I can get it going that method. I prefer to start using the drill brush over the tornador, just because it makes less mess. Yeah, it does kick the stuff around, but the air just kind of blows a giant cloud of crud, and it settles down on everything and kind of blows around in your face. So using the drill brush is a little bit less mess maker, and you don't always need to use the tornador. So if you don't need to use it, then it's easier just to use the drill brush. It's cordless, and then I can use the vacuum at the same time and kind of suck up the stuff as it's getting loosened and knocked out. So with the tornador, especially if I'm like doing mobile detailing, I can't have the tornador going with the air compressor at the same time as the vacuum. It's just too much amperage draw on one circuit. So that's one thing to consider as well. Driver's carpeted areas are always a bit more beat up. Of course, there's more foot traffic, and there's always somebody going to be driving the car, so these areas need quite a bit more work, and had to go over these carpeted areas multiple times with the drill brush, just to get a lot of these. There was a bunch of pine needles, and then just regular dirt debris. I sucked up all the rocks and stuff already. And they're kind of contained within the floor mat, but the stuff just gets ground in over time, and if we're not keeping up on the vacuuming, it just gets hard to remove with just the vacuum, so I have to go over it with the drill brush multiple times to get that stuff loosened up. And then anything that I can't get up with the drill brush and the vacuum, we'll just blast it with the tornador and get this thing looking real nice. Now that I've done the best job that I can just using the drill brush and the vacuum, we're going to hit up these stubborn areas with the tornador and we'll just blow any crud out that we couldn't get out before, and that'll really help loosen the stuff up, especially now that we've gotten the majority of the junk vacuumed up. It's not going to make near the cloud and mess as we would if we did it right at the beginning. So we'll just get these last little remnants blasted out and continue through with the vacuum, and then move on to the rest of the interior detail as we go. Now that I'm done using the tornado, we're just going to vacuum up that loose debris and chunks of crud that got blown out, and then we can finally be done doing our vacuuming, except for a final kind of vacuum touch-up right before we wrap things up and present to the customer. And there was some stuff on the seats. Thankfully they're leather, so they're a bit easier to clean than the cloth seats, and obviously they're not porous like the cloth, so the dirt stuff doesn't get absorbed into it. I really enjoy using I enjoy cleaning the leather seats a lot better because they're a bit easier to keep clean. As you can see, there was a bunch of crud on these driver's floor mats. I didn't have my pressure washer out. I was working out of my shop, so I didn't have the pressure washer set up. So I'm just vacuuming out all the loose stuff, and then we'll go through and spray and drill brush and wipe the floor mats down. Here you can see there's a bunch of crud that's stuck in the cup holders and everything, so we'll have to get that cleaned up a little bit later, but we're moving on to the seats. They're not too bad, just a little dirty and stuff, so we'll get those all squared away and move on to the other areas of the vehicle. And they did opt to get leather conditioning, so we'll do that a little bit later. In case you're wondering what I'm using, I'm just using P&S interior cleaner. It's diluted 1:1, and it's a pretty good mild leather cleaner, just generic interior cleaner. It does a great job, and it's pretty gentle on everything, so I do enjoy using it. Works great, and it's not a harsh chemical at all. It's not a real strong APC or anything like that, and it does a fine job, so I enjoy using it. You can also buy it in 1 gallon form, and you can dilute it as you would like to, depending on if you're doing maintenance cars or cars that are really dirty. You can dilute it however you like. So being able to buy it in a gallon form, that's one nice thing. It keeps things a little bit more cost effective than just buying it in little consumer grade 16-ounce bottles, which that gets pretty expensive. So the trunk area on the Subaru WRX is pretty small, so there's not going to be a whole lot to wipe down, which makes it a little bit nicer to get everything cleaned up in the trunk area. So this will go fairly quickly. We'll start wiping the back of the rear seats, and then we'll move on to the passenger area, the rear of the passenger and driver's side area. And more than anything, these door panels, they just kind of had like a layer of dirt and dust on there. So I'm assuming that they just like to roll with their windows down quite a bit, and just got a lot of dust and dirt accrual. The door jambs were pretty filthy, so that was one thing to tackle, but we're going to get it all nice and cleaned up. This P&S interior cleaner is making pretty light work of the dust and dirt that's on the back leather seats. They're not too bad, and so this stuff is just getting everything all wiped up and cleaned up, so not too bad to get these seats back to new, and they'll be looking great once we get them conditioned with the Coach Kimmy leather cleaner. This center console cup holder area was real dirty. All the seams and cracks were just gunked up with just crud and stuff. There was some spilled liquid on the e-brake little handle and stuff, but I had to go over multiple times with my toothbrush and just wipe in and clean in, just because there was gunk stuck in the little cracks, and there's not really any other way to get in there unless you have a small little brush, or possibly you could use air, but then you're just blasting stuff in your face. So I prefer using a soft bristled toothbrush, and that works pretty good getting in some of the cracks and stuff. I guess you could use steam, but when there's like kind of electronic parts and things around, you just got to be careful on that. You don't want to oversaturate things and cause problems with electronics. So using the toothbrush and the cracks, that works pretty good, getting all the little seams and buttons and things cleaned up.
Skippy.